Hey guys, it's Saucy Surge, and welcome to a Rust player's guide to electricity and automation for dummies. This is episode 1. If you ever looked at Rust's electrical system, thought it was way too complicated, or you wanted to automate your base without feeling like you need an engineer's degree, then you're in the right place. In this series, I'm going to break down everything into simple, easy to follow guides that anyone can understand, whether you're solo, duo, or maybe even part of a larger clan. In today's episode, we're covering some of the most useful automation systems that you can build. I'll show you how to create automatic sorting systems that'll organize everything you throw into a drop box, from weapons to armor to resources, components, and even your farm. We'll also build automatic furnaces that'll keep your ore smelting with minimal effort, along with efficient wood burning systems that save you time and resources. On top of that, we'll dive into practical electrical circuits, like the best way to power multiple auto turrets from a single battery, along with several electricity tips, tricks, and hidden mechanics that maybe Rust players don't know about. By the end of the series, you'll have a knowledge to build smarter, safer, and far more efficient bases without all that confusion. So if you're ready to master Rust electricity one circuit at a time, grab your wire tool and jump into episode 1. So in today's episode, we're going to be building an automatic sorting system. Now, if you ever heard of an automatic sorter before, or you have absolutely no experience with Rust's automation system, don't worry, that's exactly why this series exists. Everything we're building today revolves around the Rust industrial system, specifically a tool called the pipe tool. Unlike electricity, which uses wire to transfer power, the pipe tool creates industrial connections that move loot between containers automatically. So here's a little bit how it works. Instead of running all the way back to your core of your base every time you come home to roam from a farm run or whatever, all you have to do is dump everything into a single drop box. From there, the industrial system takes over. Your resources, components, weapons, armor, clothing, medical supplies, whatever you throw in it will automatically be sorted and transferred into the storage boxes you assign for each category. It saves you an incredible amount of time, keeps your base organized, and once you build it, you'll wonder how you ever live without it. But before we start connecting everything together, this is a Rust player's guide to electricity and automation for dummies. So I don't want to assume everybody knows the basics or understands how any of this stuff works. Before we build the sorter itself, we're going to go over every electrical component, industrial item, and automation tool you will be using throughout this guide. That way, not only you'll know what to connect, you'll understand why you're connecting it. If you're already comfortable with batteries, industrial components, or Rust electrical system, feel free to skip ahead using the chapters, but if you're brand new to all this, stick with me because by the end of this video, you'll have a solid understanding of how everything works and how we're going to use it in today's video. Alright guys, let's cover the basics. There's a couple things you're going to need in this video. One is the pipe tool. This is going to allow us to connect the locations of the automation system. Obviously an electrical tool, everything to do with electricity by plugging in the battery and things of that sort. You are also going to need industrial conveyors, storage adapters, industrial splitters, industrial combiners, drop boxes, splitters, electrical branches. So let's go over each one specifically. First thing we're going to be covering is the industrial conveyor. Think of this as a little belt feeder. So if something's in this box, to get the loot from here to here, between every box there has to be an industrial conveyor. It is going to pull out of one box and put it inside of another. So, in simple terms, let's show you how this works and why would you want it. So, you're going to put your storage adapter onto a box and onto another box. You're going to put your industrial conveyor down. You're going to take your pipe tool. It's going to say out. So this is going to pull it out of the box. You're going to go up and put it into the industrial input of the conveyor. Then the conveyor has an output. This is going to go to the other storage adapter to its industrial in. So now, as long as this has power, it'll pull whatever you filter from here into this one. So let's get it power and I'll get right back to you. So with that being said, we just powered up the industrial conveyor. As you can see, it has a green light now. It only takes 1 power per industrial conveyor, so just be warned of that. As long as you have a big enough electricity grid, you should be perfectly fine. So these industrial conveyors, they have filters. So if you hold E on it, go to change item filters, you can actually search whatever item you want in here. So we can type in clothing. It'll show you almost every item that's in the game. So we want to do components, CCTVs, right there, cameras, green cards, everything. But if you want a broad range, there are categories in Rust. So to use this specifically, when you're in here, you obviously don't want to go pipes, road signs. And as you can see, this is slowly going to fill up. You only can have 30 filters. So what I'm talking about is if you go to your crafting menu, there are already set filters. So items, resources, clothing, tools, medical, weapons, ammo. anything that's in these categories, you can just put it here. So instead of these components, we're just going to type in components. So now every type of component that we put inside this box should be pulled out and put into the other box. And everything else should stay. And as you see, the components got pulled out. So once again, we're going to use this as a conveyor belt. Again, it costs 1 power. You can set filters on it, and it is going to pull out of one box and put into another box. This is a very useful item when it comes to the auto sorting system and the smelter system later in the video. So guys, with that being said, that is the industrial conveyor and these adapters. They're pretty simple to use. I'm going to show you a more advanced trick here in the next step. So guys, the next item we're going to be covering is the industrial combiner. So what this does is it takes multiple inputs. So once again, we covered the industrial storage adapters. So if we go from out, we can hook it into the industrial input, and pretty much it takes multiple boxes. So it'll take 3 boxes and you can put it into 1 box. And just for that example, I will be using 3 boxes just to show you. So we'll go industrial out, and then into the industrial in of the industrial combiner. And for the last box, the same exact thing. So now what this means is these 3 boxes, whatever you put in it is going to be pulled out. Now before we can pull it into a different box, remember we have to use the industrial conveyor. So we're going to put that down. Now we're going to do the out of the combiner into the industrial input and the industrial output into this box over here. And let's just say these are your farm boxes and you want to go to your smelter box over here. So in that case, we're just going to put metal ore, sulfur ore, high quality metal ore, and wood. And we're going to hook this up to power. So now that the industrial conveyor is powered, we have the industrial combiner here hooked up to these 3 boxes. We're going to grab some resources. So let's grab a stack of wood, metal ore, sulfur ore, this. And let's just throw in stone so you guys know it works. Do metal in there, sulfur in there, and this in there. As you can see, it is slowly getting filtered out, and all of it is going into here. So, once again, the industrial combiner is used to split 3 piping tools and push it wherever you need it. And it can get even more tricky than this. This is just a simple system you can use. So if you got 3 drop boxes, or in this case 3 farm boxes that you want to go to your smelting box, this is the simplest way to do that. So that is going to cover the industrial combiner. Now you guys know its purpose, you guys know how to use it, you know how to use the storage adapters and the conveyors in simple terms. Alright guys, the next item we're going to be covering is the industrial splitter. This splits an industrial connection into 3 separate connections. So almost like the industrial combiner over here, but this one is going to split it into multiple connections. So to give you an example, we're going to lay down a box. We're going to take this boxes out. It is going to go to the industrial splitter in the in, and now we have 3 options to pull it out from each. So for this case scenario, I'll be using 2 just to make it a little easier for you guys. So once again, we connect to the industrial splitter. We have connection 1. We are going to put it into a conveyor because this is what's going to pull it through the boxes and filter it out. So then we're going to go to the industrial out, hook it up to whatever desired box you want. The same thing to this desired box. So now you just split the connection of 1 box into 2 boxes. Now, this is going to seem pretty redundant since we did the same thing over there, but when you're doing huge bases or just automating a lot of stuff, this is going to help. So as you can see, we split it off into 2 boxes here. We could take this connection, put it into another splitter, take it again, repeat it, and now as you can see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 connections. Editor Saucy Surge here. It's actually 5 connections because the top splitter, all 3 connections were used. The left, the right, the top, and the bottom. So we only had 2 in the middle and 3 at the bottom, giving us 5 connections. Sorry, I misspoke. Meaning we can hook up a total of another 7 boxes. And this is exactly what we're going to be doing in today's video to use the sorter. Now we have 7 extra boxes to hook up to. So if this was your drop box, you would be able to drop anything in here and it would go to the designated boxes. So without further ado, let's power these up. We're going to power the industrial conveyors. These industrial splitters do not require power, so you do not have to worry about that. So let's turn these on. Let's go to the right box, and we'll do weapons. And the right box, we'll do components to make it easier again. So as you can see, these boxes have nothing inside of them. But once I put components and a weapon in them, it immediately gets sucked out. The components go into the components box, and the weapon goes into the weapon box. Now, this is a very simple, sloppy design right now, but what I'm about to show you is honestly amazing. It'll sort everything you guys have from your drop boxes pretty much into the designated boxes that you want them. So if you're interested in that, keep sticking along. I know it's kind of a long intro, but this is just to get the premise down of understanding everything. Without further ado, let's get into the build, the auto sorter. Hey guys, welcome back. Obviously, I did not create a base, but this is going to be the auto sorter. It's going to show you a simple design of it inside of a base, what it would look like. So you have your boxes labeled, you know what they are. Preferably do this when everything is upgraded, so you don't have to remove the piping tools, because things can get tricky when you're trying to move this stuff around. So as you can see, we got ore, charcoal, wood, armor, tools, guns, comps, and ammo. So in total, we have 8 boxes. So in total, you're going to need 8 industrial conveyors. And obviously, you have your drop boxes. In this case, I put 2 down just to show you guys what it would look like if you have 2 entrances on your base. And honestly, it just gives you a better representation. So the first thing first, we are going to put, again, the industrial storage adapters on every box. So as many boxes as you have, that's as many you're going to put on. So in this case scenario, we're putting on 8 boxes here and 2 here. After this, we're going to take our storage industrial combiner, and wherever you want to place it, we're going to put it here to simple terms. Then we're going to pipe the out of the box into an in section, and this out into the other in. So once again, it's pulling these two, and now here comes the part where you're going to use the industrial splitters. I recommend if you guys have a wall designated that doesn't have anything on it, you should use this, because this is how it's going to go down. We're going to put 1 up the top, and then we're going to go 3. I like to give it a little space so you can see what the pipes are actually doing. That's just me. And now, this is probably overkill, but if you have a lot of boxes in your base, this is exactly what you're going to need. So now we are going to take, I'll make this red, the industrial out. Wherever your first industrial splitter is, so we're going to put it in this one. Now, I'm going to make this yellow for you guys to see. We're going to have to hook up all these. So in this case scenario, I'll take one out to that in, this to that one, this to that one. So now this one's useless, but it is powering these 3. Then we're going to take this one down. And make sure they are all connected like I'm doing right now. So now, as you can see at the top, we have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 boxes that we can hook up to in our base. And as you can see, we only have 8 boxes, so we have plenty more for future upgrades. That's why I recommend just building a wall like this. It'll suit all your needs. You can even do it with furnaces and things like that, which I'll show you in the next video. So now, from one of these connections, we're going to take out, and for each box, we need an industrial conveyor. So we're going to give one to the ore, the armor, the charcoal, the wood, obviously the tools, the ammo, the comps, and the guns. Now, once again, I did say for every industrial conveyor, it has to have its filter. So we're going to do that. So ore, we're going to change the filters for all the ore. So metal, sulfur, high quality metal. That's going to be our ore filter. Armor, you literally just have to put in clothing. It'll pull all your clothing into there. So that's why sometimes if you have an overflow, I'll show you real quick. If you have an overflow of abundance, you can actually add just another box. And once you put this into this, you can actually put this into another box like that, and it'll fill up both boxes. So you're going to go around and you're going to filter every industrial conveyor to whatever box you're filtering. So guys, now that you have your industrial conveyors all filtered, we have to hook it up with power. Now you guys should know how to hook up a battery, whether it be using a windmill, a battery, solar power, whatever you got. But all we need, honestly, is 1 power powers each of these. So in this case scenario, you'll need 8 power. And now to hook these up, once again, there is going to be a power in. You're going to plug it in, pass through, which is going to let the electricity flow through one to another. So now, as you can see, 2 of them are powered. And we're going to rinse and repeat this until every one of these are powered up. Once all your guys' conveyors are powered up, make sure to turn them all on. Now let's make our way back to this conveyor that we were actually doing. Now each connection is going to go to a conveyor and then to the box. So we're going to take this one and make this one guy's pink for you guys. And into here, and then the output is going to go into the storage adapter on the box on the industrial in. Now, anytime we put something in that box, any of those 2 boxes, it should pull out the charcoal and only put charcoal in this box. Now we're going to go purple, make it easier on you guys. Again, we're going to go to the storage adapter or conveyor, plug it in the industrial input. Then the industrial output goes to the industrial in on the storage adapter that's on top of the box. Now again, to reiterate, whatever we put in that box, wood should only go into this box only. And we're going to hook this all up. Each one of these splitters, industrial outs, is going to go into one of these conveyors, then into the box. Once I hook this up, I'll be right back. All right, guys, we're back. Every single box is hooked up to its own storage adapter or conveyor, and all the boxes are hooked up. And as you can see, you're probably thinking to yourself, oh my god, this guy did a terrible job at hooking up all these pipes. Now, you can make this 10 times cleaner. Once again, if things get confusing, you're like, oh my god, I don't know what pipe goes to what. You can actually just go to like this one, hold shift and left click, and now only 1 pipe will be highlighted. You don't know exactly where to go. Also, a very good tip. Obviously, if you hold R, you can change the color. Well, what if I told you, you could just do it invisible? Now you won't even be able to see the pipes. And you can do that. So that's always an option if you are looking to make your base a little more aesthetic. So now that we got it all hooked up, let's get the necessary resources, put them in the drop boxes, and see if they go into the designated boxes that we hooked up. All right, guys, we're back. We got a bunch of stuff to put in these drop boxes. So we got all the stuff that we should get filtered out of these drop boxes into each of its own box. So let's swipe half of this in here. And let's swipe the rest of this in here. As you can see, everything's getting filtered slowly but surely. Now let's see if they go to the box. Let's go to the ore box. The armor box. Charcoal's getting sucked out. Wood did. Tools, chainsaw. The ammo got out. The weapons got filtered. And the components got filtered. I mean, it's as easy as that, guys. That is going to be the simple setup for you guys' auto sorter system. Once again, you need 2 drop boxes. You're going to put the industrial storage adapters on those boxes. Then you're going to need your industrial combiner. Then you're going to put it into one of the splitters, put them in a bunch of these splitters, and however many splitters you have, the outputs are each going to be a box. And remember, every box needs its own industrial conveyor. After that, you power them. Each conveyor only takes 1 power, so this only takes 8 power total. And boom, you got your whole setup complete. It'll sort everything out as long as you put the filters on those boxes. Everything out of these boxes will slowly get sucked out. Obviously, I have hundreds, unlike a realistic game, but it'll eventually go all into those boxes. So guys, that's everything you need to know for your first automatic sorting system up and running. Hopefully this guide made Rust industrial automation system a little less intimidating and stressful, and showed you how much time you can save by letting your base organize itself. In the next episode, we're going to be covering automation even further by building fully automatic furnaces, whether you're using the regular furnaces, electric furnaces, or large furnaces. I'm going to show you how to automate the entire smelting process, so after a massive farm run, you can simply dump your ore into the system and it'll do all the work. No more standing around refilling furnaces or wasting your guys' time if you want to go out on a roam. So if you find this guide helpful, consider leaving a like, subscribing if you're new, and if you know any tips, tricks, or different automation systems or setups, drop them down in the comments and help everyone out. It could help out helping someone who's just getting started with Rust electrical or industrial system. This has been a Rust Player's Guide to Electricity and Automation for Dummies, Episode 1. I appreciate every single one of you guys for watching. Until next time, take care, and God bless.